like little smallies and stuff.
Wallaby! This one wallaby. Let's see, you want to see kangaroo, right? This wallaby is here.
Walk. My name's Brady, I'm on the kids here at Perth Zoo and I'm lucky enough to get to work with the Tasmanian devils. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about devils in general, a little bit about the specific devils we have here at Perth Zoo, and a little bit about my role as a zookeeper. And then once I'm done, obviously there will be a bit of a feed going on, and then I will pop up to the boardwalk to answer any questions people have at the end of the presentation. So obviously Tassie devils are one of the species we have here at Perth Zoo that can be considered dangerous. They are a marsupial, but they are a carnivorous marsupial. So they're part of the Dasyurid family, which basically just means carnivorous marsupial. And one of their unique features is they actually have some of the strongest jaws of any animal. And that's one of the reasons why when I'm in this enclosure stringing up food, I've had to make sure I've locked the devils out. You can actually work in with the devils if you know what you're doing and you're well trained and you're careful, but when there's food around, it's always best to play it safe. So today I'm stringing up a bit of chicken for them. I've already given Jaws, our male, who's in the bottom yard at the moment, a little bit to play with, because he loves to break off his food and then run away into the den. So once he's got a bit of food, you don't really see him. The girls though, Makina and Kui, we've got in this top yard, basically once they come out here, they should hopefully hang around so you get to see them. And then I'm going to tie up a little bit that I've got for Jaws as well, so that he will hopefully spend a bit of time out there and you can see him in action. So Tassie devil is a really interesting species. They are solitary in the wild but not territorial. So often when they are feeding, they'll basically communally feed. They'll find a large carcass out in the wild. They're not particularly good hunters. They generally rely on prey that's already died. They can chase down small things, but as I said, they're not particularly great at it. And then once they find a carcass, like something chicken size, like a wallaby, they will basically communally feed. So you might get up to 10 devils on any one carcass. And it does get pretty explosive, sounds a little violent. And the two girls we've got here, McKenna and Cooey, get along quite well. So you may not get the full Tassie devil experience, but if you do go onto Google and search for Tassie devil feeding, you will get some pretty impressive videos and a lot of noise. But I'll let these two girls out and you'll hopefully get to see a little bit of that in action. But these girls get along really well, so generally they settle down pretty quickly. But hopefully you'll hear a little bit about what I'm talking about. Now, they've got exceptionally strong jaws, and the main reason for that is the Tassie devils, they need to make the most of all of their food source. So a devil may not eat every day in the wild. When it comes across the carcass, it will want to eat all of it, and they will eat the fur, the feathers, the meat, the bone, and they use those strong jaws to really crunch that up. And hopefully you'll be able to hear it from the front. I see one of them's already found it. That looks like Cooey. And hopefully McKenna will head around too. Here she comes. And you'll start to see a little bit about what I'm talking about. So the point of tying the food up to the bungee is to simulate that kind of natural feeding style they have. If you imagine devils out in the wild, coming across a carcass, they'll basically be tugging and pulling in all sorts of directions. You've got 10 mouths on there trying to break off bits of meat. And so we just use the bungee to simulate another devil kind of tugging on that, because otherwise what will happen is they will basically rip off a chunk, run to where it's safe and eat. And so that's what Jaws likes to do. It's why he spends a lot of time at his den. Basically, once he gets a nice bit of meat off there, he wants to run to an area that he can protect. And that's what they would do in the wild. Essentially, they would run away, eat what they've managed to secure, and then they would try to come back to that carcass once they're done to get a little bit more. Now, it usually works quite well, but depending on the size of the feed, obviously, they might miss out. Except a little too tight. Partially digested plant matter from the herbivore that they hunt. Push everything through their digestion.